Day 7. And today we will talk about fixing tab order, fixing the reading order in PowerPoint. All right, what is tab order or reading order? So the reading order is the order in which a screen reader is going to read the content on your slide. When you hit the tab button to navigate through the things on your slide, it is the order in which it will go around the things on your slide. And me just telling you that is probably not very helpful, so maybe I should just magically go into demo mode. Heyo, demo mode. First try, for real this time, I swear. Okay, so for reader order or tab order, how do we see what it is and how do we fix it if it's wrong? So for this right here, if I am clicked into this slide area, and if I just start using my tab key to go through, you'll see the order in which it navigates the things on the slide, which incidentally will dictate how a screen reader announces them. So first the title, hey, that's not bad. That's 1 for 1. 1 so far is correct. And then we fail. So then it goes to the shapes. And then where? Well, then of course for tab order, it just goes right into the shapes. And then, oh gosh, look at that. It goes right over to this. It skips any of the text that's underneath it. And then it goes to the chart and then we're, okay, so we're sort of in order in some places, right? We go back to the beginning. Where did it go next? Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are some things in order and there are some things that aren't. So how do we fix that? It all has to do with how the items on your slide are layered. You can see the reading order pane. There's a reading order pane and there is a selection pane. So how do I get to edit my tab/reading order? Well, there are 2 places. We can go to the selection pane and we can go to the reading order pane. Okay, to get to the selection pane, we go to the home ribbon and go to arrange. Click on that, go to the bottom and choose selection pane. Here on the right, you see all of the things that are on your slide. If I select everything on my slide, everything over in that selection pane is highlighted. Selection pane shows reading order or tab order. How's that work? Well, it reads it from the bottom up. From the first thing you put on the slide, which is typically the bottom. I mean, I know you can rearrange things, but let's not go there right now. The bottom layer is the first thing it reads, the screen reader reads. The top layer is the last thing that the screen reader reads. And you'll see here that I did myself no favors. I have not renamed any of my layers. And so I highly recommend that you name your layers. This table 15, sample table. I'll rename that. So how did I do that? I just double clicked into the name of that layer. And then I just rename them something helpful so that I can choose them later. Oh, I can't spell. Hawthorne effect right there, because I know you're watching. And there we go. Everything has a proper name in the selection pane. And this is where you're going to see how that makes this so much easier. Because we want it to read from we want a certain order, and that is going to read from the bottom up. The title, great. That's on the bottom. We want it to be read first. Then I'm actually going to take the sample table and the sample shapes, the sample smart art, the sample chart, and the sample word art. If I select all of these, because I have that text in text boxes below it, I don't need the screen reader to announce those. So from there, I can right click on, fine, that's right. You guys, you can't do all in one shot. You have to do it individually. So if I right click on that, I can choose edit alt text and I will mark that as decorative. Same for this chart here. I'm going to mark this chart as decorative. I will mark this sample thing here as decorative, and so on and so forth. If I select it properly, I still want to rearrange things because I want my tab order to be appropriate. So back in my selection pane, title is first, and then I want the sample table to be the next thing I select when I tab through. And after that, I want the word tables to be the next thing. So I want it to go the sample of it and then the label, the sample of it and then the label. So what's next? Shapes and lines. And then that's the text. So I need the sample shapes. Where's the sample shapes? Here it is. Sample shapes comes after tables, then the text shapes and lines. Then I want the sample smart art, and then I want the words smart art. Then I want the sample chart, and then the word charts, and then the sample word art, and then the words word art. So now if I click off of all of that and I tab through the things on the slide, and of course it goes into groups, and there, the tab order is correct. And the reading order is also correct. So let me show you the reading order pane. If I go to review, I can check accessibility, and there is a reading order pane right here. And it looks awfully similar to the selection pane, doesn't it? There's one key difference here. For the reading order pane, here's the trick. It has checkboxes next to each thing that's on your slide, and that's awesome. But what does it mean when it's checked, and what does it mean when it's unchecked? If you have it checked, it will be red. And if it's unchecked, that means it's decorative. This is an alternate way to mark things as decorative. And when you uncheck it, you can see here that the word decorative is appended to the layer name. If I check that, the word decorative goes away. If I uncheck it, it will add the word decorative. It will become marked as decorative. So that's a handy way, if you remember what those check marks do, to just quickly mark things as decorative. You can also reorder things. So if I wanted this one to move up, I can select it and use these arrow keys. Another fun fact is if you go back and forth between reading order and selection pane, you can accomplish the same thing in both places with regards to order, reading order, and tab order. But in the reading order pane, the top is read first and the bottom is read last. I mean, I understand why they did it that way, but I can also understand. I can also see how that's going to confuse people. So just remember what pane you're in when you're working with this stuff. Reading order is read from top to bottom, and the selection pane reading order is from bottom to top. Now, one caveat I have for you: slide numbers. If you have slide numbers on your slides, the default way slide masters treat them, slide layouts treat them, they will make them so that they are read last. They will put it up on the top of the stacking order in the selection pane. It's important to know that if you're going to have slide numbers on your slides, and it's going to save time if you do this in your master, in your template, on the masters, move those slide numbers in the selection pane, move them all the way to the bottom, or in the reading order pane, move them all the way to the top. You want your slide numbers read first. The slide numbers should be announced first before any other content on that slide is announced. It is a point of reference for the user on the other end. Slide 1, title of the slide, content of the slide. Slide 2, title of the slide, content of the slide. That's the natural cognitive stuff things. Just make sure that your slide numbers are read first, okay? Promise me that and we'll be good to go. Okay, so that's lucky number 7. Okay, and I think I'm really realizing that if I move this a little bit, you can see it, that Dookie in the background over there is looking rather demonic with this Christmas lighting I decided to set up. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's kind of creepy. Yeah, I think we're going to have different lighting. Yep, definitely. Anyway, if you like the content, and I appreciate you stopping by, hit the like button. It'll help me out. Subscribe if you like the information, and hit the bell notification so that you know when my next video comes out.